They don't talk about Halloween in Hollow Creek. Not like other towns. There are no decorations, no pumpkins, no kids in costumes parading through the streets. The candy aisles at the local shop go untouched. If you ask anyone why, they'll give you a vague shrug, maybe mutter something about safety, but they won't look you in the eye. The truth is, they're all scared. And it all started with a clown. It was 31 years ago when Hollow Creek held its last Halloween festival. Back then, it was a place where families came from nearby towns just to take part. Hay rides, games, fire pits, and of course the final show, Bingo the Clown. Bingo wasn't like the others. He didn't juggle or honk a red nose. He told stories, strange stories, stories that made children laugh and adults feel uneasy. That year, something felt off. His face paint was heavier, his grin was too wide, and he kept making jokes about things he shouldn't have known. The sheriff's affair, the mayor's drinking problem, a missing girl no one had even reported yet. People laughed nervously, thinking it was part of the act. Then, during the finale, he stopped speaking altogether. He just stared into the crowd, lips curling upward, as if he recognized someone he hadn't seen in a long, long time. That was the last time anyone saw him. The next morning, the festival grounds were deserted, except for Bingo's shoes, left perfectly in the center of the stage. No sign of a struggle, no footprints, no Bingo. The town passed a motion a week later. No more Halloween festivals, no more clowns ever. The mayor at the time, Henry Walsh, said it was for the good of the children. He never elaborated, but the whispers never stopped. Some say Bingo never left, some say he was taken, and some say he's been waiting for Halloween night to fall on a full moon again, just like it will this year. And this year, the posters are back. No one knows who put them up. No one dares to tear them down. They just say, Bingo's back. One night only. And below that, October 31st, midnight. The town is holding its breath. Because deep down, everyone remembers the face behind the paint. And they know he hasn't aged a day. It started with a flyer, printed on cheap glossy paper and pinned to the notice board outside the gas station. It looked harmless at first. Halloween, night fun fair, live entertainment for the whole family, scrawled in red ink, slightly smudged from the rain. But it wasn't the words that stopped Jonah in his tracks. It was the image. A smiling clown in a bright yellow suit, red buttons, pale white face, and a crooked, too-wide grin that looked almost familiar. Jonah stared at the flyer for a long time, his stomach knotting. He hadn't seen that costume in over 20 years, not since the incident, not since Milo. That name hadn't crossed his mind in years, not since they were kids, when their classmate Tommy had thrown up from fear after seeing Milo perform tricks at school. There was something always off about him, even back then. But after the disappearance, the town buried the story, buried it deep. The adults stopped talking about it. The kids grew up and chalked it up to childhood imagination. But here it was again, that exact same smile printed for all to see. Jonah ripped the flyer down. He turned it over. Blank. No contact info, no website, no organizer name. Just the promise of a live clown show at the edge of town, near the old quarry, the same place where Milo vanished all those years ago. He told himself it was just coincidence, a sick prank, someone with a twisted sense of humor. But as he walked away, he couldn't shake the feeling that the clown on the poster wasn't posing. It was watching him. Later that night, more flyers appeared, on windshields, in mailboxes, even taped to the door of the town hall, despite the ban. And in every single one, that same clown face stared back. Only now the grin was wider, and the eyes were open. The next morning, red balloons were found tied to every mailbox on Ashwick Lane. Every single, one. They weren't latex, not store-bought. They were faded, rubbery, the kind used decades ago, back when Milo was still performing. And each one had something written in black marker. "You forgot me." The town council tried to claim it was a prank, a Halloween stunt by bored teens. But most people knew. The air felt wrong. Radios buzzed with static. Phones rang once in the dead of night, with no one there. At the town square, a woman screamed. Pinned to the statue of the founder was a child's trick-or-treat bag filled with candy, dirt, and one small red nose. And beneath it, a party invitation, dated October 31st, 1993, signed Milo. The power flickered once, then went out completely. The town square fell into darkness, save for the dim battery-powered lights strung along the few open stalls. People murmured, nervous, a few pulling out phones to light the area. But no one noticed the figure walking down the middle of Main Street. Not until the sound of old-fashioned circus music began playing from nowhere. It was warped and slow, like it was being played on a broken calliope. That's when people turned. That's when the screaming started. He stood under the old clock tower, red curls matted under a soggy, tilted hat. His suit was faded, stained, and sagging with dampness, like it had been buried and dug up again. The makeup was wrong, too pale, too cracked. But it was the smile. That smile was identical. Every wrinkle, every line, every tilt of the lips. It was him, Milo. Some said he hadn't aged a day. Others said his face didn't move right, like something wearing skin that didn't quite fit. Police arrived, but by the time they got there, he was gone. Vanished down one of the alleys, leaving only a red balloon tied to the war memorial. On it, scrawled in marker, were 3 chilling words: "Let me perform." Security footage showed nothing. No clown, no music, not even the crowd's reaction, just static. 10 seconds of digital snow, and then the balloon was already there. That night, several homes were broken into. Nothing was taken, but each family woke up to a photo on their kitchen table. It was a picture of their house, taken from the inside. The church bell rang midnight as the final Halloween stragglers filtered out of town. Streets, once alive with laughter and costumes, were now silent, except for the echo of a squeaky shoe behind Anna as she walked home alone. She didn't turn around. Not at first. Something in her gut told her she shouldn't. But then came the laugh. That horrible, high-pitched, almost wheezing laugh that didn't sound like it came from a person. It sounded old, rotten. She spun around. Milo stood under a flickering lamppost, holding a single red balloon. His paint was cracked, his yellow teeth exposed in a wide, twitching grin. He didn't blink. He didn't move. Then he lifted the balloon to her. "Wanna see a trick?" he rasped. She turned and ran, her feet barely touching the pavement. But no matter how far she went, the squeak of his shoes echoed just behind her. She darted into her house, slammed the door, locked every bolt. But the lights were already off, and someone was standing in the corner of her living room. It wasn't until the flash of lightning illuminated the walls that she saw it. Hundreds of balloon animals, twisted and mangled, hanging from strings like trophies. A voice from the dark whispered, "You brought the party back, Anna. Now we're all smiling again." The front door creaked open behind her. The whole town had tried to forget, tried to bury the past. But Milo remembered, and now he wasn't alone. Dozens of shoes squeaked outside. Laughter echoed in the wind. The town hadn't just banned clowns, it had created them.